Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our next installment of Coleman's Corner. I'm Lance Franey, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications, and I'm joined this afternoon by Executive Director of Athletics, Robert Coleman. Rob, thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks, Lance. Thanks for having me.
So we're currently halfway through the fall season, and right off the bat, men's soccer has jumped into a tie for first place. Playing sensational soccer, by the way. Volleyball is in the hunt for a playoff berth, and water polo is preparing and gearing up for a tough Sky schedule, but they're looking very good right now. What have you liked from these three teams already?
Well, I'll take men's soccer first off. I think that they've played really well together, and I really like their depth. I mean, losing Brian was a big hit to us with that ACL injury, and the guys went away the next game after and got a really big win at CMS, and so I think their depth is really going to help them. And again, it's just really easy. It's very early, I should say, for all of these teams. They're playing well. But men's soccer plays really well together, and the other night against Kalu, big win for us. And if we can get through Saturday against Laverne, perhaps after the first half of the schedule we'll be in first place. And I said this to Shay I think today. I was talking to him, and it's better to be chased than to be chasing. So we'll take. If we stay on top here after Saturday, because we know it's going to be a tough game. Laverne's very good, improved, and they always play us hard. So it'll be a tough Saturday game.
Very physical team.
Yeah. And as far as volleyball is concerned, I mean, they're playing great, and the new players have come in and done a really nice job, and that was kind of the unknown going into this season. But to go away to Gallaudet and to win that tournament and come back. They played Chapman hard last night, and Chapman's very good. But we were in that, and so I think they're thinking like, look, we might be able to squeak into this tournament this year. We're kind of right there. We've positioned ourselves, and I think again, Chris and the staff done a really nice job, and I think everyone's just feeling really good. And then for water polo, brutal schedule, super tough schedule, and it doesn't get any easier this week. But I think what we've seen is that Redland's good as they've always been, and CMS is good, and I think the top four teams are probably Pomona's going to be good, and I think we're probably in that mix. And there's a lot of talent in the pool with all four of those teams. Little luck's going to be needed to win the thing, but hopefully we can stay up there in one of the top spots and get a pretty good seed here come tournament time, but it's coming soon. The season, as far as the SkyX season and them counting, is coming up for very quickly. But we'll get through this weekend and kind of see where we're at.
Yeah, 8 games in 6 days is going to be key for his guys.
It's a very tough sport, brutal to begin with, and it's a tough weekend. We play CMS pretty close, tough match, and I'm imagining that the regular season games are going to be the same way into the playoffs. They're going to be close, very physical, and you're going to need a little luck to go along with it.
True. And now moving into football. Started off 0-2 in non-conference play. We have Chapman this coming weekend on the road, followed by Laverne on the road as well. Now, what have you seen with the guys? You've been at the games. You've been able to watch the Whitworth game. You saw some of the highlights from the last game we had. Now, what do they need to improve on moving into Sky play to even, have a run at it, after seeing these first couple games they've had?
Yeah, well, I think we're really disappointed about how we played, especially the last game. We thought at least we'd be 1-1 after 2 games, and Puget Sound played a nice game. And I think the bottom line for us is we continue to hurt ourselves. There's one thing of why we lost these last 2 games. It's because of turnovers and penalties and those types of things. And when you hurt yourself and you have 5, 6, 7 turnovers in a game, you're not going to beat anybody, quite honestly. So, now we go into playing some really formidable opponents. Chapman is a very good team. We're playing at their homecoming, so the place is going to be extremely crowded and rowdy. And we have to play a perfect football game, quite honestly. We can't have 5, 6 turnovers. We can't have the wrong penalty at the wrong time when you're on a drive and you're down in someone's 20 and you get a holding penalty. Then we've got to play great defense. They're a good football team. They'll challenge. They're going to challenge and give Redlands and Kalu everything they can handle this year. I mean, from what we see, Bob's done a great job over there, and they have a nice football team. So we're going to have to play a perfect game to get on in the win column, and it's not going to get easier on any week. There's no one on our schedule right now that we can pencil a W next to. It's just not the way it is. So, but the other good thing is it's early. you know, and we can make improvements here. We've had a week off, and so hopefully that extra week of practice is gonna help us to cure some of these things that have affected us over the last couple of weeks.
And get some much needed rest as well for the players.
And we have, and you know, but there's no more breaks from here on out. You got to play 7 straight games, and you got to suck it up and get it done. So you know, that's where we're at.
Okay, fantastic. Now moving to women's soccer and cross country, they've come off to a slow start. You know, women's soccer is still seeking their first win of the season, but they've been plagued with injuries moving forward. Cross country has really only run in a couple races already this year. They've had a few injuries as well that have hurt them a little bit. But we're midway through the season, and women's soccer is going to start up their second half of the year coming up in the next week or two, and then cross country has their multi-duels coming up in the next couple of weeks, and they've taken some time off to run on those the multi-duels course along with the Sky Championships course. Now, what do you see moving into the second half of the season? Do you feel that those players returning will make an immediate impact for them?
Yeah, I mean, again, they haven't run much. You know, they've been practicing. They got a match a run this week, so we'll see where it's going to take us. I think Greg is optimistic. Coach Phillips is optimistic about where the season's going. You know, but injuries are injuries. It's part of the game, and I think that's the one thing I see again about men's soccer is you know when you have depth and you're comfortable with some of the subs going in, and there's not a drop off at all with talent. I mean, it's a comfort thing, when you lose a guy like Brian, who's, as much your captain as anything, and you can survive that. And depth's everything. And it's the same thing, I'd say for women's soccer. They've had injuries, but I will tell you that team hasn't quit playing. I mean, they're playing super hard. They played a very hard game the other night. And, I'm proud of them to kind of suck it up and get through this thing. It's not the way we wanted to start the season. Not winning a game and not really scoring many goals, but at the same point, they're fighting through it. It's adversity. It's the way life is going to be at points when you graduate from here. And I think Monica's teaching that piece. I mean, you could just quit and kind of end it, or you can fight through it. And I give him credit for doing it. And once we get some more players back, I do hope that we're going to have a much better second half of the season. So. But I mean, I think still really for cross country, it's kind of I don't know where they're at because they haven't run enough, and we're going to see a lot more here coming up in the next couple of weeks. But Greg gets ready for the multi duels. He's gearing up for the championship already because before in a blink of an eye, the season's over.
Exactly.
And we're going to regionals.
Not many races out there.
No, not at all. So, but we'll see. Hopefully, we fare well here, and once we get to the multi duels here in a couple of weeks, and looking forward to that.
Stay healthy. Perfect. Now. The winter season is upon us, and I know our next segment we're going to get deeper into the winter season, both the basketball and the swimming programs. But what has the buzz been around athletics regarding both of these programs? Kind of what people are looking forward to, and maybe some insight that you might have early before the season even starts.
For both the basketball?
For both basketball and swim and dive.
Yeah. Obviously swim and dive is, they're practicing early in the morning right now and getting ready for the season. I don't know much about the buzz yet for that. Okay. Obviously we have some new kids and so forth that we're all going to get a chance to see. But
and Sean's now coaching too as well.
Sean's doing a great job with them, and I think that's really helped Justin moving Sean as overseeing the men's and women's swim program, and Justin overseeing water polo and being the director and of the whole program. But I think Sean's doing a nice job, and we're lucky to have him in our program. And I think the kids like that too. I think the kids feel like, hey, Justin was splitting his time so much that now they really get the sense that they got a coach on the deck all the time, which is great. As for basketball, just the buzz is I think we'll be very competitive for men. I think we'll be one of the better teams in the conference. Good recruiting. We feel confident that some of the kids that are coming in are going to really help us. On the women's side, very young. A lot of recruits coming in, but I think we're going to be a young team, kind of part of that building that we're going to have to go through. Okay. If some of these freshmen, like volleyball, really pan out very quickly, it's going to be great. And maybe that building process, we've got a ways to go still at women's basketball. Sure. And I, as Elizabeth and I spoke, we wanted to get young. We needed to start somewhere. So, bringing in 10, 12 new players, and the majority of them being freshmen, I think this isn't a one-year fix. This is going to be a 3 to 4 year fix. And if we, this year was important that the young ladies that she's recruited have the talent to really start that process for us. So that's kind of the buzz right now. We're just going to have to let it pan out and kind of see if what we're hearing is actual. But we're excited about basketball. I think basketball and swimming will both be I think each year our swim program gets better and better. So that's exciting, and that's the goal, is try to take that next step and get into fourth place maybe in swimming or something. So
making those big jumps, bigger numbers are going to allow for more points, which will make that push. So Sean's done a great job with that, trying to get more numbers, which is great to see. And I know the last time we touched upon the new athletic department hires. Now, and we also discussed a few upcoming events, but can you rehash and kind of discuss kind of what events are coming up? I know homecoming's coming up, and then in October we also have a Midnight Madness as well for basketball.
So homecoming is right around the corner. The board of trustee meetings are being held at that time too. So that will be coming up in a couple weeks on the weekend of the 19th. We're going to be doing a clinic with the LA Galaxy here on Monday the 21st. So I'm trying to finalize details on that right now, but that's real exciting to have kids on our campus with the four-time MLS champion, the Galaxy, and they'll have a couple players that will be here as well. And also during that homecoming piece, we'll do some unveiling with our new locker rooms that I talked about last time. So that will be exciting to get those donors back on campus to do the official unveiling to that. And then what was the other thing you mentioned?
Regarding the Midnight Madness coming up in October.
And that's another great. Both the men's and women's staff have worked very hard on that, and I think that will be a fun night. Last year they had a little dunk contest, and I don't know, they got some of. I think some of the staff involved last year with the dunk thing. I think I almost killed myself doing it. So I'm way past my prime to be doing those things. So hopefully they'll pull some more students out of the stands this year to do that and not rely on the staff to end up in the hospital or something.
I know they're doing a new dance-off now. They're trying to get all the other sporting events or other athletic programs involved, and every team's going to have a specific dance, and they're going to come together and get dressed up and make it kind of a big fun event. So some new ideas coming up.
I think that's all part of what we're trying to do with our SAC right now with this Poet Pride program within athletics, and accumulating the points and announcing the winner of that. And I think you've seen some of that with our crowds. Even the other night when we were chatting with the folks with the Poet Pit and trying to get that to reestablish itself and to grow. So the spirit around our program is still really, really good. It's strong, and there's a lot of support. And I think it's all about our kids supporting each other, and that's really the part of the program. So so it's going well, and I look forward that we keep that going, because SAC's done a really nice job.
Fantastic. So now that's all the time we have for today, but I want to thank Rob for joining me this afternoon. Make sure you catch us this week as we unveil our first Poets in 30 sports talk show, behind the scenes into the Whittier College Athletic Department, brought to you by the Whittier College Sports Network. For Rob Coleman, I'm Lance Franey. Thank you for tuning in.